Hi everybody, I am Lady Stars and Fire. My real name is Michelle Espinosa, and this is the weekly healing messages for June 11th through the 18th. Now, there's a lot going on this week, and I feel good about it, but it's definitely a week that you need to have some soulful discipline as we move through it, especially with the new moon and manifesting for that new moon properly, or the energy that you're manifesting through and after that new moon properly. There's, like I said, a lot of things are going on. That new moon is going to be taking place in Gemini with a void of course through Cancer, or into Cancer I should say. So you will be feeling both of those signs. I'm not like all the other astrologers when they just pick one and say the full moon or the new moon's happening here. If it's going through a void of course, I'm telling you it's going through a void of course, because you're going to have more than just that sign's energy. Hi, Mr. Neptune. Anyway, and you're going to have Venus moving this week, Mercury moving this week, as well as you've got two planets that are about to go retrograde. But before I get into all of that with the astrology, somebody is just loving me today, aren't you? Anyway, let me get into what Spirit gave me. I'm not going to fully go into the number information. I'll let you look that up and decide if that helps you or works for you, because I'm trying to make the video somewhat of quick so that I don't spend all of your time. Anyway, you can go back and look that up. The numbers I'm being given is 1212. I'm also being given 465. And they may actually both work for some of you. They may only one or the other one be meant for you. I'm also being given a lot of yellow and green energy, which is psychic growth to me. But I'm being given it on the physical plane, which means it's not just psychic growth. It's going to be on a higher dimension. Psychic growth also is soulful growth, because as you come into those higher dimensions, that's more understandable how psychic growth turns into soulful growth and oneness. Can you maybe take your tail out of the video? Anyway, I'm also given this week, obviously that would be why Neptune is here so much as I'm making this video, because I was given cats to give to you guys for this week. I was given cats this week by Spirit to give to you guys. I'm given a gray cat and an orange cat for the video to give out this week for the healing messages. But cats speak to us of half and half, being half in this world, half in the other world. But they also speak to us of intuition. They speak to us of mystery, of magic, of curiosity, of independence, and adaptability. So I have all my notes. And, of course, as soon as I start talking about cats is when he leaves. See, the Spirit has a way of having things happen. It's just funny that way. But I am given orange cats to speak to you about, as well as gray cats. Orange cats, along with that energy, is also going to speak to us of creativity, of using the creativity within that intuition, within that magical mystery of energy, of curiosity, independence, and adaptability. But the gray cat is going to speak to us of shadow energies and where we are or aren't using it and acknowledging it. I'm also given the gnat, which speaks to us of a keen vision, seeing more than what you typically see, seeing past the truth, seeing more than what's normally there. It's seeing through the bullshit also. It's seeing through the impurities as well. But it's seeing what isn't there to most people as well. Gnats and flies have many, many eyes. This is why that animal medicine goes with them. It also speaks to us of survival and mobility, as well as transformation and perseverance. And that definitely speaks to us about what's going on this week. Because I'm also being given, before I even looked at astrology, Spirit was telling me, in a way, it's like squaring the moon all week. And that makes sense of why they also gave us that gray and orange cat. Because the moon speaks to us of our intuition. It speaks to us of our soulful depths of self. And then giving that gray cat and an orange cat speaks to us of creativity as well as our own shadow. So it makes sense. But I'm being told we're kind of like squaring the moon, and in astrology, a square is what I call challenging energy. It doesn't have to be about a bad energy, but it's not exactly a, a warm and fuzzy energy, okay? I mean, it's complicated. It's where things get difficult. And if we're squaring the moon throughout the week, we're moving from Taurus to Gemini to Cancer to Leo. And we've got the new moon. We're kind of overcoming these impurities. We're kind of overcoming ego. Because a lot of it has to do also with unconsciousness, becoming consciousness, and or whether you realize your unconsciousness is part of your consciousness and it is part of your manifestation. This has to do with what you'll be manifesting after that new moon and how you're manifesting and bringing that in. It has to do also with your character, and are you coming into a higher soulful place with it? Because that new moon is going to be, like I said, going through Gemini and Cancer. So when we get into the universal houses, that's also speaking to us of home, the heart, but it is also home. It is also, your neighbors and close to you energies, as well as communication with yourself and your own personal karmic obstacles. Okay, so that's whatever you may be going for, starting new, creating, from a new, with the new moon, as you're bringing these things forward. It may be for the outside world. It may be for your careers or things you're goaling or yearning for. I told you last week, what did you covet? And are you doing it for the right reasons? What are you yearning for? These were part of what it was bringing you to, so that you can evaluate if they're for if they're for if it's full of impurities, more or less. Is it coming from ego? Basically, are you going for and yearning for to create these things from a lower vibrational energy that is just ego and really isn't even important? Remember, ego is in a hurry because ego knows it won't last. Soul will last forever. And spirit, our actions, our spirit is a combination of both soul and ego. So the need for those goals that we're creating needs to come from here first, from heart and soul, is what I'm getting at. Because spirit is not just ego and it's not just soul. It's a combination of the two manifested. And when you work through that and you understand that and start to conquer that ego and realize soul lasts forever, ego doesn't, then you can start manifesting from a higher vibration, is what I'm trying to get at. But the vibrational frequencies of what it is you're carrying from that unconsciousness helps create your manifestation. And this is the goal that we're talking about. I told you in the beginning of the year that unconscious energy needs to become conscious so that your conscious energy is already a higher consciousness. Now, with that being said, we're going into runes. I was given Nathis, Suilo, Knez, and Pethro. Nathis is speaking to us of warming that very cold, of reminding us that there are karmic obstacles, yes, but you can warm the cold from within. And that every challenge put in front of us is only teaching us of our own hidden strengths that we had within ourselves, basically. But with that being said, Suilo reminds us of our self-worth. It is the navigation rune, putting us in the right direction, helping us see the light and the new path so we can pursue it. But Suilo also speaks to us of journeying over water or finding of one's way. Knez is creating through fire, period. The soul fire, the passionate fire from within. But it speaks to us of inspiration and knowledge are also part of its capabilities. Pethro speaks to us of testing fate itself, taking risks, venturing into the unknown as we work through this new moon. And it also speaks to us of bonding and psyche and soma itself. Now, like I said, you have the new moon coming in. I got the wrong paper. You have the new moon coming in on Wednesday, going from Gemini into Cancer, universal third house and into the fourth. It's going to be dealing with communications. It's going to be dealing with those shorter trips. It's going to be dealing with home energy, but it's also going to have Gemini with seeing both sides to every story. I say Gemini reminds me of Jekyll and Hyde. You're not 100% sure which one you're talking to, because Gemini is two-faced. Not two-faced in the bad way, but two-faced as in it sees things from every point of view. That has to do with its communication energy. Cancer is more nesting, more creating, and more home-bodied, soulful, I need you kind of energy. And it wants to bring that home energy into a better, loving place. So you have this energy of this new moon is what's creating whatever it is that you're putting out there. It's coming back to here. Even if you're working for it out there, it's coming back to here and to home itself. Now, you have Venus is going to be moving into Leo the same day as that new moon. And you have Mercury is going to be moving into Cancer the day before. So you're going to have a lot of energy stirring you up, especially if you're sensitives. You're going to be feeling that, because I can tell you every time Mercury moves, I can feel it knock me down almost every time. I'm like, it should have happened right about now, you know. Anyway, that's me. But some people are more sensitive to the actual planet's movements. But with that being said, Neptune goes retrograde next Sunday. Neptune, I don't know how else I can put that. Neptune is, and I would explain why Neptune the cat was here. Neptune is what I like to say, magic and fantasy meets harsh reality. And with it going into retrograde, it's about to turn inwardly, which can be a very positive thing. As long as you're allowing that magic that Neptune can bring and the creating that it can bring to bring you into actual creating and not delusional energy. Because I like to say Neptune can be delusional in the way of, okay, perfect idea. You can have a dream. By all means, have dreams. But if you don't actually do anything to work towards the dream, then you're full-on delusional if you think it's going to happen. Having a dream is great, and you can start to manifest and bring it forward, but you do actually have to put work into it. This is what I'm saying. If you just live in la-la land and you believe something that just full-fledged is not so, that's where that little mix of fantasy and magic can smack you in the face with harsh reality. That's the trick of Neptune. You need to understand that magic so that you can actually work with it. And when it turns inwardly, it's going to help you create from a whole new point of view, as long as you're not in denial. Now, you also have Mars, which will go retrograde on the 26th, but both of them are in shadow right now. So there's your magic, as well as that harsh reality hitting you in the face with some dark energies. And Mars is your warrior. It's also in shadow right now, so you may be a little bit on the defense, period. It's in shadow. But when they turn inwardly, they're going to help build you stronger, so to speak. Okay, now, I am being told, when I look at the, not I'm being told, but when I look at the astrology, I see like a grand square in the energy, which is a big challenge. However, it's not a full grand square. It don't fit exactly right. But I'm still seeing it, and I just know that that energy is still going to be picking up in a challenging energy, and so I'm passing it on to you. You have Mars in Aquarius is squaring the North Node. Again, it's in shadow. Again, it's in Aquarius. So you've got extra balls right now. extra balls to do whatever you want, and you're doing it outwardly with your goals, your commitments, and of those goals, and the community itself. Outwardly, you're having those extra balls coming forward, but it's squaring the North Node, which is asking you, are you still doing the same shit you did before? Or have you learned how to do it right? Okay? And it is squaring Jupiter. Jupiter is abundance and knowledge and the magnet. So it's asking the same question. Are you learning anything, or are you just getting hot-headed and letting your warrior run wild? But also you have Mercury, not Mercury, you have the North Node and Mars, which are also squaring Uranus. Your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. So you're hot-headed with the extra balls of that independence backing you up to make you feel like you're standing in your power, and that's a great thing. But the thing is it's standing right next to influencing Juno, and Juno is asking you the same thing the North Node is, and the same thing that Jupiter is. Are you